turn because in her eyes they didn't do enough to prove that the killings were.
Come on in, everybody.
Nature.
Let me know if you can hear what is on the screen as well when you come in, if you wouldn't mind.
People with opinions, you have internet sleuths, you've got bloggers, you've got YouTubers, all kind of
welcome in.
Waters a little bit, and trying to do their best to almost, it seems as if those people were trying to solve the murders because they felt like they knew more than the people that were directly involved with who had that information. So it has been
welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let me switch glasses so I can see what in the hay bale is going on.
Actual, just physical reporting on the trial itself has been
welcome back, everybody. Welcome back in. Come on in, everybody. Verdict watch, verdict watch. They have a verdict. We are waiting to hear what that is. Can you hear what's on the TV?
Because of that, she also had to navigate the line system, which means that she was getting.
Can you hear the guy talking?
A very difficult time reporting, but as soon as we know, Phil, what that verdict is, you help.
There's a big secret being hidden from drivers, so listen up before this.
Except for that commercial. Sorry.
You're being taken advantage of. My sister.
Okay. We lost the screen over here. Welcome in on the Big YT. If you can hear me. Let me see if I can get this to refresh. Please be patient with me as I continue to flip through live broadcast. We are looking at the Delphi trial. The verdict is in. We are watching live right now. Small town Indiana is also filming. They're saying when you come in, please tap, 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 tap. You know what to do. That's clapping and that's getting everybody in here. Let's see if we can get to 10,000 likes because the Delphi trial, which is in regards to Abby and Libby, is in. It is in. We are waiting for the jury to come back and let us know what that verdict is going to be. There are already 225 souls in the room. We just have a live feed going on to see, because there's not a live feed inside the courtroom. That's not something that they done. They didn't allow any cameras inside the courtroom whatsoever. Let me go back and see if the news is back. Nope, they have switched to something else. Why would they do that in the middle of this? Can somebody tell me who has it live? I cannot find it. There was one channel. There's no way. It's like the channel that was carrying it let them switch over to something else. Court TV. So are they live though? They aren't live on the YT. Where are they live? WTHF. Thank you. Not live. They're not live. WTHR. Sorry, what did I say? F. My bad. Live. not live. Yeah, we are waiting. The verdict is in, so I'm trying to find something on the YT that's live that will talk about this. But I don't see a thing. Let me go over to the book face. Hi. Sorry for the sound, the dead air here. I'm just trying. It's hard for me to talk and type at the same time. Okay, maybe I can get. Oh yes, here we go. All right, I've got a feed. I found a feed. Okay. I am live over on the Big YT too, so I was really finding a feed for a little bit everybody to watch. Will it be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Somebody's asking. Wouldn't they? Is it scheduled? Can somebody tell me if it's scheduled or not? I'm going to continue to try to find Court TV because there's just, this is just the feed of everybody standing around and we're not really getting news coverage. The verdict is at 3. So they did say 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Three p.m. Okay. Thank you, Kristen. Do you guys want to, until 3 p.m., do you want to review and talk about the case? Or do you want to leave and come back at 3? What do you guys want to do? Yes, talk about the case? Yes, so let's review. Somebody's saying review, come back. I got that person mods. Yes, this is the Delphi case. If you are just coming in, we are awaiting a verdict. We are on verdict watch on the Delphi trial. They have come to a verdict. They are going to go live with that verdict at 3 p.m. and I'm assuming 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I'm on the same time as them. Okay. $52 minutes. All right. Yep. Then I'm assuming we're on the same time here. I'm seeing if anybody's live on Google. Well, I don't understand why I cannot find anybody live, honey. Other than people just sitting around, but we do. I mean, I guess we can talk about it on our own. Can you do the poll? Oh, yes. Let's do that. I didn't mean to pin that. I meant to block that person. Do I have any mods in here? Come on, mods. Okay, yes. Let me put the poll in. Let me make a poll. Send a star. This is going to be a gift poll. Send a star if you think they're going to find him guilty, or send a heart if you think they are going to find him innocent. Send a star, or star guilty, heart innocent. Star guilty, heart innocent. There you go. Just click the poll thing right up here, and it'll tell you what to send. If you think he is guilty, send a star. If you think he is innocent, send a heart. If you think they will find him guilty, send a star. If you think they will find him innocent, send a heart. Star guilty, heart innocent. Star guilty, heart innocent. Thirty seconds left. We are on, if you're just coming in, we are on Verdict Watch for Richard Allen. We are waiting to see if they will find him innocent or guilty for the unaliving of Abby Williams and Libby German. 20 seconds left. Send a star if you think he's guilty, a heart if you think he's innocent. 10 seconds left. All right. By an overwhelming amount of stars, by way of a lot of stars, 30 stars, overwhelmingly, the majority of you think that he is going to be found guilty. Oh, excuse me. Can I do a quick recap? Yes, if you are just joining us, as you recall, on February the 13th, 2017, Abby Williams and Libby German, who lived in Delphi, Indiana, went on a seemingly innocent hiking trip. They went to the Monon High Bridge there in Delphi. They were going just kind of like a hiking. She had a cell phone. I believe they were 13 and 14. I think it was Libby's phone. Libby had the cell phone, an iPhone 6. And as two girls who were just, messing around and taking Snapchats and this and that and the other, they came upon a vision of a man that has become to the public known as the Bridge Guy. At 1:35 p.m. on the 13th of February, this is the day before Valentine's Day, they took a photo, and then I believe the Snapchat photo was a little bit after 2. And what they found on the phone when they found the girls, which they found them the very next day, was a little snippet of an audio. And it was from a supposed bridge guy. And all you could hear was down the hill. And so, to my knowledge, they were directed down the hill. They were then drug from, well, no, I wouldn't say drug. I would say the initial investigation showed steps or elevation changes on the phone, right? So they could tell that they went from up the hill to down the hill. Go ahead, Kristen.
So basically, at this point, and you could just switch to Court TV. They're currently reviewing the file.
I can't find. Is it? Are they on Bookbase?
No, it's courttv.com.
Oh, you said that like, don't you know? No, I don't.
Yeah. Well, then again, I'm the woman on top of everything.
I need you. I need you bad. All right.
Yeah, just click on Court TV and we can just listen to it. They're currently reviewing it right now.
Okay. I'm going to make this because I'm also streaming on the YT. And let me make this my screen over there. So give me just a moment.
National Spelling Bee.
Okay, I think I got it. We're got to get out of this commercial, and then we'll see if I've got the right live feed here.
I'm at courttv.com, dear.
Yes, me too. But it's showing me a commercial before
Now
it showing me the live.
The cowboy people on the commercial where it says extra excitement, all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have it muted on my end, but I'm still paying attention.
Okay. Thank you, Ash. Let's see. I'm waiting for it to get through the commercials. They got to pay the bills. And now they're saying they'll be right back. That's my screen anyway. Breaking news. Verdict is in. Okay, we are live.
The door to the courthouse.
Excuse me.
Veterans Day for just one case, the Delphi murders trial. The jury has reached a verdict. Barbara McDonald from Court TV is inside the courtroom waiting for that verdict to be read. Once it's read, she'll come out of that door. She'll come to our cameras and our microphones, and she will deliver the verdict for us. In the meantime, if you take a look at the scene, they need to tilt that camera down just a little bit for us. If you look at the scene at the courthouse, this is bizarre. Like, courthouses are public property, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know.
Yeah, they have it.
Courthouses are public property.
They have it fenced off.
For some reason, in Indiana, get off my lawn seems to be the order of the day. Everyone has to stay on the sidewalk. I don't know why.
It's been wild. They've had people camp out there, like put out lawn chairs and the whole 9 yards.
Where it took them 5 years to solve the case.
Yeah.
Where the man they arrested 2 days after the murders told investigators he was there. And they did no further investigation of him.
Thank you for using those stickers.
Until like 7 years later. Welcome back. I'm Vinny Politan with our special coverage today. With me here on the big desk to help deliver this verdict is Court TV's Ted Rollins as well.
It will be read at 3 p.m.
At the courthouse today. Like, I get it. You don't want cameras. But, like, no one on the lawn. Wait till we tell you to line up.
No one on the lawn.
It just looks like it's
sounds like
JP.
JP.
Too much in a public trial in a public courthouse.
Yeah, we've seen this play out, both you and I. Depends on where you are.
In the last few days, they had so many people lay on blankets and lawn chairs outside the courthouse waiting for the verdict.
Yeah.
That was the problem. That's the reason why they kicked everybody off the lawn.
Right. Today's live goal while we wait for this verdict to come in is 10 maple leaves. In case you guys want to send one, I've pinned it for you there. We have 23,000 likes and 350 souls in the room. Keep on, you know what, and let's get some folks in here because the verdict is going to be read in literally 40 minutes. And so we are just sitting here kind of waiting and listening to court TV right now. If you kept up with the Delphi trial, Abby and Libby lost their lives on February the 13th, 2017. And 2 years ago, Richard Allen was arrested. And really, out of the 14,000 tips, only one came from him, and that was him himself admitting that he was there. He called the tip line, but it was disregarded and kind of, you know, not really checked up on, or maybe they checked on it. They talked to him, they cleared him, and everything was fine. And then some years later, a clerk was, thank you, Pinesy, thank you, friend, I appreciate that. A clerk was thumbing around, you know, around filing cabinets and such, and came across this and said, you guys need to take another look at Richard Allen. And the next thing we know, he's been arrested, and his sanity has come into question after they have various interrogation videos. They have concerns for his mistreatment. Thank you, Manda. Thank you so much. And so on. And so what the defense is trying to say is he confessed over 60 times, but it was under duress. Hi, Donna. If y'all don't mean to come up to the panel, I will disconnect you. No problem. Sometimes when you're, you know, it'll be such as you click to be on the panel, but you're always welcome to come up. The panel's open if anybody would like to come up and ask any questions. Lauren says, I hope he is innocent. Too many red flags in the investigation. I am so nervous for the verdict. Me too. They were talking about mishandling of evidence, like that cell phone that was taken from the scene hadn't been filmed being took from the scene. I guess that's a normal happenstance that they do. And they were talking about different protocols and such not being followed. I'm assuming that Richard Allen is on his way back to the courthouse right now for the verdict to be read here in about 40 minutes.
If you remember correctly, the testimony of Stephen Mullen, when there was a review of the evidence as well as how those phone calls happened, and there was a lot of red flags from Stephen Mullen as to how that evidence was handled, and especially in regard to the fact that out of 14,000 tips, only one linked to Richard Allen. Mm-hmm. So it gives a lot of room for doubt, especially when it comes to him and the fact, and then the other one was Brian Harshman that really got me. Brian Harshman was a master trooper. He's basically what I would call a statey, and I'm using that in air quotes. Okay? He's not a voice expert by any means or stretch of the imagination. However, he is brought in this case to be the voice expert to analyze Bridge Guy's voice in comparison to Richard Allen's. And the reason behind that is because this master trooper, being Brian Harshman, had reviewed over 700 phone calls that Richard Allen had made to over the time frame of his incarceration. So he's had overheard this voice so many times that he's kind of tunnel vision at this point, thinking, okay, this voice is exactly Bridge Guy, and we're going to stick to Richard Allen, and we're going to go forward with that. And the prosecution should have looked at other people, especially in regard to Brad Holder, as well as other people as well. And this is where I have a significant amount of doubt. And right now, Court TV is reviewing it again. There's a lovely gentleman that his name of Gray Hughes, that is a podcaster that is sharing his view on Court TV right now.
Okay. Sugar Skulls, we can't pin comments during when we have a panel. It's a TikTok glitch thing. It won't let us. But let's take a listen.
That makes him at least responsible
Do you want me to hop
for
down?
kidnapping and taking them to the crime scene. And then, oh, by the way,
No.
the bullet that he said he ejected in one of his confessions at the end of the bridge, they find sitting at the crime scene, and it linked to his gun with ejection marks. All right? And he's confessed. I mean, like, it's just, he confessed in a rational way.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this. I want to leave the confessions off the table. So let's go around the horn. Philip Dubé, could this case be made without the confessions?
Never. In fact, I'm not even sure that a grand jury would have indicted. It's only enough to prove presence. That's it.
Really?
It does not prove commission of the homicides. If they would have had, for example, some forensics of the girl's blood on his Carhartt jacket or his skull cap, or they found his DNA under one of the girl's fingernails, or found a hair follicle of his on one of the girls, then he's finished, obviously, because it was direct contact. But the mere presence of a dry, spent shell casing is not enough to even file, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And if I were a surrogate deputized
It's going to be, the verdict is going to be read at 3 p.m.
Hey, listen,
go out,
Philip,
beat the bushes and get me more evidence.
That's never happening. You will never be a prosecutor. Marie Pereira, could this case be made without the confessions?
No, I agree with Philip 100%. It couldn't be made. And I disagree with Gray that the confession is cut and dry. He confessed to a lot of things. And let's talk about the feces. Come on. This is a person who confessed. He said he molested them. There was sexual assault. There was not. He said he assaulted his daughter. That didn't happen. The man was not well. So this is a case that relies heavily on a confession that is suspect, because the confession is basically full of feces. It doesn't matter about the confession right now, and this is what the case is grounded in. The testimony of those eyewitnesses 5 years later, there's room for reasonable doubt there too. The length of time it took them to investigate really denigrates that eyewitness testimony from the people who said, just you, Gray, saying the timing and everything, how it happened, was confusing to me. So to the jurors, I'm sure.
Well, this is what we're going to do. I understand it's a little confusing. I'm going to put together, we have a little map that we'll show you after the break, Marie, and we'll kind of...
Somebody's asking about the Menendez brothers. Oh, yes. The Menendez brothers were so close to freedom that, I mean, they just got pushed back so far because the governor of California lost his race, or don't ask me about the name specifically, Garcon or something like that. And the new guy, he's not so sure. So now he's going to go back and review all of the evidence in the Menendez brothers case. And it's like we took one step forward and 3 steps back.
It's a much different case. Absolutely. If you're actually saying, Gray, that this is just a strong case without the confessions, well, then why did they ship him to Guantanamo Bay and turn him in and make him confess, basically, is what happened. Why would he go and be put in solitary confinement in a prison unless they were after exactly what they got, and that is a confession, turns out multiple.
All right, I can't leave it hanging there. Gray, you want to respond?
Yeah. So I guess psychosis makes somebody psychic. You know, I didn't realize that when you have psychosis that you can actually see into the mind of the actual killer and see this white van driving on a private drive that nobody on the planet knew about other than Richard Allen and perhaps the guy driving the van, okay? So,
They're talking about Brad Weber.
That existed. And by the way, I believe Richard Allen was completely, he was eating, he was exercising, etc. Then he confessed to his wife, and he begged them to believe him. And then the attorneys got involved. And don't you think it's interesting?
I know, Nicole.
Some of the, quote, false confessions involved family members that they knew would come back and say, no, he didn't do that. Plus, they're biased towards him. So obviously, if his attorneys got involved for future confessions, you want to muck up the original ones that were completely said under no duress whatsoever. He said them, and then later on, these false confessions come out, and he started getting really crazy. I mean, literally almost the next day after he confessed, they're like, whoa, man. And he started drooling on his shirt. All these things were going on. It was just, it seemed to me completely fabricated.
All right, our guests are staying with us. Ted is staying with me. He's not allowed to leave. You're in lockdown, Ted Rollins.
Sorry,
we'll
y'all.
be
Hold
with you
on.
folks until the verdict is rendered and delivered publicly. You're watching special.
All right, so we're just kind of listening to court TV along the way because there is a verdict in the Delphi trial. We have been waiting literally 7 years for this moment to see if the state claims that they have found the unaliver or not. Amanda says, I just don't understand confessing if you didn't do this. Well, they're saying that he confessed under duress and that he had some sort of mental breakdown or mental psychosis, because he also confessed to unaliving his family and his grandchildren. He don't have grandchildren and his family wasn't harmed. Yes. So they're trying to say that his confession isn't worth counting because it was done under such duress. Kristen?
Now, keep in mind, he has been in solitary confinement for a total of 13 months. The general recommendation for anyone in solitary confinement is 30 days. And any form of exceeding of that will contribute to a severe mental health break of some kind. So at this point, I truly believe that this was under coercion and duress, and that they were just pushing for an outcome that it is. Now, Gray Hughes, the podcaster on Court TV that we were listening to, brought up a fact that I had forgotten, which is that when Steve Mullen was questioned on the stand, he was asked about the time frame of when the witnesses at that point in time were contacted. Those witnesses were not contacted about that date until 2 to 3 years later. So at that point in time, I'm sorry, but as a person with usually the attention span of a goldfish, I'm not going to remember everything from 2 to 3 years later. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's really poignant because details can fade away. Like all of the witnesses that saw the bridge guy described him in a different way, none of which match Richard Allen's physical appearance. Right. Oh. What is it? My husband must be home from work. My dog starts whining when he comes home. It's so cute. So if you hear him in the background, it's fine. He's just crying for his father. It's probably just pulled up. We're still waiting on Court TV to come back. It's in a commercial. I brought up doubts myself. Lauren, the verdict is going to be read in 30 minutes. I came up with doubts myself on whether or not they had enough evidence to proceed or to go, to proceed with such a conviction. And really the appearances don't match. Really the only thing that we all know for sure is that Richard Allen called in to the tip line and said that he was there that day. He was busy on his phone, but he saw 3 women walking on the trail. But we know 3 women weren't involved. It's a man's voice, obviously, saying down the hill. But let's talk about if they find him not guilty. This means, more than likely, that the real person who done this is still out there somewhere. What do you think? What do you feel will happen from here? Hey, Joe. It is the Delphi trial, the Delphi, Indiana, the Abby Williams and Libby German case from 2017. Bridge guy. Amanda says she's never been convinced he's guilty. went back and forth. Let's listen to Court TV. They're back.
Then the jury, they deliver the verdict, and then whatever happens afterwards, as they sort of close out the day's business in the courtroom, then everyone inside has been instructed to orderly walk out of the courthouse, not run like a bunch of lunatics like they did in the Martha Stewart case years ago, when we had a similar scene where there were no cameras permitted in the courtroom and everyone in the nation wanted to know the verdict. This is going to be a little bit more orderly. There's less people in the courtroom, but Barbara McDonald from Court TV is one of them. She will come up and she will deliver to us what the verdict is. He's facing 4 counts of murder for the murders of Abby Williams and Liberty German, 2 counts on each of the young girls. It's been a long road, folks. It's been a super, super long road to get to this point where the jury will speak. If you're the
I got to take a phone call. I'll be right back.
You're looking for justice. You want to turn the page. You will never forget your little girl. You will never forget your little girl's best friend. The community will never forget them. But they want justice. They want some sense of someone has been held responsible. The person who slashed their throats and took their lives.
Yes.
Families believe Richard Allen is the man. On the other side, Richard Allen has claimed his innocence. They've pointed the finger at specific people who they were not permitted to point at during the course of the trial. That's another story for another day. But as we wait for this moment to arrive, the big question is, will this jury come back and say guilty and deliver for the families of Abby and Libby the sense of justice they have waited way too long for? Now, as we wait for this verdict, I am not alone. I will introduce who is with us. Ted Rollins is of course, seated next to me here at Court TV. Court TV anchor Ted Rollins. We also, Barbara McDonald is heading out of the courthouse, so we are going nowhere. We will wait for her to come and deliver this verdict. You can see people moving quickly out of the courthouse.
Uh-oh.
Ted, this is the moment. I mean, we'll know in literally seconds, I believe. I'm looking at her camera getting set in place. Again, 4 counts.
People are coming out of the courthouse.
The verdict has been reached. The verdict has been delivered. And now the only thing left is, what is that verdict? So we saw Barbara walking out of the...
People over on the YT are saying innocent, innocent, guilty, not guilty. So they're kind of torn over here. But over here, it seems like everybody is aligning. Can I just see, by way of vision here, just type whether you think they are guilty or innocent. Guilty or innocent. Wibba says it's guilty. Warrior says guilty. Excuse me. We have 41,000 likes and 400 souls in the room. You guys know what to do. It helps TikTok get out there to let everybody know we are on Verdict Watch. Guilty, 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 guilty. And please share it out. And because that is tapping is a clapping, we all know. And today's live goal is 10 fall leaves. We are already halfway there. Thank you, guys. Guilty, guilty. Oh, wow. I'm really shocked here at an overwhelming amount of guilties. Guilty. Wow. Wildflower says they got the wrong person. I'll take that as an innocent. Lola says guilty. Olivia says guilty. Oh. Per CNN, the verdict is coming in as guilty on all counts. I thought it was going to be announced at 3.
He's gone. All right, we'll wait for Barbara to come over. Barbara McDonald was, again, what's termed a
guilty
pool reporter, meaning she has responsibilities to the entire media.
What?
To deliver that verdict, and then she will walk promptly over to us.
Oh. People are hugging outside the courthouse.
If any family members had come out of that front door, and I did not see any. Did you, Ted? I mean, it happened very quickly.
I did not. If our camera guy can hear us, the guy right in front of him right now is Alex Perez with ABC. He was just told what the verdict was. I saw him typing it away.
Guilty.
If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are seconds away from finding out the verdict in the Delphi murders case. Waiting for our producer, Barbara McDonald.
Everybody's saying he was found guilty on all counts.
Here she is. She's here.
Oh, snap. Here she is. Let's listen.
This is live television. You got to zoom in. We focus. We'll get her microphone on, and she will deliver this verdict at this moment. She's got to put in her earpiece. She likely does not even realize.
Oh, my
that she's
gosh.
on the air right now. She's dialing in. I'm giving you behind-the-scenes stuff, folks. She's dialing in so she can hear me as we get ready for this verdict to be delivered. The question is, did this jury find Richard Allen responsible for the absolutely brutal murders of these two young girls, best friends who were there for one another at the moment some monster decided to take their lives? Unconscionable.
Oh.
Unconscionable. All right, I think we're just about ready. I can see Barbara putting on the microphone.
Court TV is way behind. Everybody else is saying guilty.
There you see Richard Allen. Those are not live pictures, I don't believe, or are they? Are those live pictures? Those are not live pictures we're looking at. So
Guilty on all
let's keep it live so
counts.
we can see what's happening. So the folks at home, we can take them behind the curtain.
I am surprised, John. I am surprised.
And there's Barbara McDonald. I don't know if Barbara, can you hear me? She's not hearing me yet. Barbara, can you hear me?
Are you guys surprised?
Okay. She can't hear. Okay.
Vinny's so behind right now.
If we can maybe just tell the cameraman to turn on the microphone and just let her speak. Even if she can't hear me, I don't know if she's having a problem. Look it up. Here we go. All right, folks, get ready. We're about to deliver you the verdict in the Delphi murders case. Barbara McDonald, Court TV senior producer, on the ground, was inside for everything. Barbara, we've been waiting for this moment. Please deliver the verdict.
Guilty on all 4 counts, unanimous by this jury. The defense did ask to have the jury polled. They all affirmed that that was, in fact, their verdict. Guilty of 4 counts of murder, 2 counts of felony murder against Abigail Williams and Liberty German, 2 counts of intentional murder against Abby and Libby. Sentencing will happen on the 20th of December. The judge is setting aside all day. I can tell you when we got into the courtroom about 10 minutes till 2, it was somber. Very quiet. Nobody was talking. The room was filled with members of law enforcement, Indiana State Police, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Abby and Libby's families were already inside the courtroom when the media was allowed in, and the Allen family was not present. The media members came in, took their seats. There were 14 seats available to the members of the general public. They were then brought in. Bradley Rosie and Jennifer Auger from the defense team were not in the courtroom. Richard Allen was. He was standing at the beginning talking with his defense attorney, Andrew Baldwin. The judge came in just after 2 o'clock and asked where Mr. Baldwin, or rather where Mr. Rosie and Jennifer Auger were, and the judge entered at 2:11, according to my notes. And Andrew Baldwin told the judge that they were waiting for Kathy Allen and members of Richard Allen's family to arrive. The judge said, so despite my directive to be less than 10 minutes away, she said the jury has reached a verdict. When can we expect them? Andrew Baldwin replied they were on their way up. They entered the room at about 2:14. At 2:15, the jury, or rather 2:19, the jury entered. You could not tell from the looks on on their faces. They did not make eye contact with Richard Allen or either family members of the victims, Abby and Libby, or Richard Allen's family. They came in, they sat down, they looked weary. And again, the room was absolutely quiet. The judge had admonished the crowd not to have any outbursts, that regardless of what the verdict was going to be, there were going to be people who were going to be unhappy with it. She said, you can take your unhappiness outside of the courthouse. Again, this jury finding Richard Allen guilty on all 4 counts of murder that he was facing after about 18 hours of deliberations over 4 days, Vinny.
So at the moment he's found guilty, everyone admonished not to say anything, not to react. What did you notice anything in the courtroom? Anything from a family member to Richard Allen?
Yeah, so his wife and mother, his wife
Right.
Kathy and his mother Janice began sobbing. The people who were sitting around them hugged them, held them. They were audibly sobbing through most of the proceeding once that verdict was announced. There were members of Abby and Libby's family that were crying. There were others that just remained rather stone-faced as the verdict was read, and that immediate reaction. Once the sentencing date was set, the judge did say that we were free to leave. The law enforcement in the room allowed Richard Allen's family to leave first. After Richard Allen was outside of the court, he was immediately taken into custody. Obviously, he's been in custody, but that will change soon for him. Then the Allen family was allowed to leave, as were members of Abby and Libby's families. Some of their family members stayed to give hugs to members of the prosecution team, to Superintendent Doug Carter of the Indiana State Police and Lieutenant Jerry Holman of the Indiana State Police, as well as the prosecutor Nicholas McClelland, Stacy Diener, James Luttrell. A bit of a celebration in court, although they weren't being very loud with that celebration. I was on the opposite side of the room, but there were a lot of hugs going around, a lot of pats on the back. The prosecution, though, remained somber looking throughout this entire proceeding today. And again, you know, it was just very, very quiet in the courtroom. It was really the first time that I've been in the courtroom with all of these people, and you could hear a pin drop. A lot of reaction outside. I came out of the courthouse. I was one of the pool reporters today, so I did have my sign for the members of the media who were not in. And as people began to see this and realize what the verdict was, there was a lot of cheering, a lot of screaming for Abby and Libby, a lot of clapping. A lot of people are very happy with this verdict. Of course, not everyone is. Richard Allen's family appearing to be quite surprised by this verdict.
Hi, did you mean to come up? Nope, and you didn't.
Not able to do that pre-sentencing report for Richard Allen. She had already talked to people from her county who are willing to do that. The defense did waive the 30-day sentencing, which is typical here in Indiana for sentencing to happen in December. Again, it'll be December 20th. They think they only need 1 day for that, and the judge has set aside the entire day. That is a Friday, December 20th. We'll be back here in Indiana to find out just how many years he's facing. Right now, he could be sentenced to 130 years or more. Vinny?
Barbara, Ted Rollins.
So he was found guilty and he could be sentenced to 130 years or more. 130 years or more. Holy camole. I have to say, I did not expect that. I thought it was going to be a not guilty. Not that I don't think he's not guilty. I don't know. It was just based on everything I guess I've seen. Like, I feel like they didn't have enough evidence, but I trust them. I trust our justice system. So it looks like Richard Allen has been found guilty of the unaliving of Abby Williams and Libby German. He was sentenced to I'm sorry, the sentencing will be on December the 20th, 2024. He was found guilty on all 4 counts, 2 counts of felony slaughter and 2 counts of intentional slaughter, 2 for Abby and 2 for Libby, and a total of 4 counts. Oh, me, oh my, Kristen, what are you thinking?
I'm actually very shocked because of the fact there was room for significant doubt. And I felt like when I heard that 4 counts of guilty, guilty, guilty in regard to Richard Allen, that maybe this prosecution was determined to just have somebody to convict. And
that was my husband's hand for everybody who just got scared out of their pants like me to see a random hand come up behind me. Anyway, go ahead.
He was just being pleasant. That's all. And so, for me, I'm curious to see if his attorney will file an immediate appeal and see what will happen in regard to that. There's a few other tactics that they could probably use in regard to fighting that potential 130 years, and see what can be done. I just, at this point, am trying to get my jaw off the floor because there was so much that was wrong.
Yeah. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. We thought it was going to be 3 p.m. as well, but we saw everybody coming out of the courthouse, and I said, uh-oh, it looks like they're coming out. And within seconds, it was on CNN and other networks that they had found him guilty on all 4 counts. Thank you, Paula's Pause. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We have 58,000 likes and 538 souls in the room. We just reached the live goal. Thank you guys so much. If you are just coming in, we were on verdict watch for many days, but now we have a verdict in, and that is guilty on all 4 counts. 2 for Abby Williams and 2 for Libby German. 1 count of felony slaughter, 1 count of intentional slaughter each. Nicole says he showed no emotion when the verdict was read. So that's interesting. You would probably expect, although people act differently, that if you are found guilty of something that you didn't do, that would be an emotional moment for you. Kimberly asked, why is the death penalty off the table? I am not sure about that. Do you know, Kristen?
Let me take a closer look. I'm just going to move you guys to my personal laptop, and we're going to find out what's going on with that. Certain states may have taken off that death penalty. There was a case that I was checking out, being Koberger's case, and the rugs needed for lethal injection were not available. So I'm going to check and see what is going on with that right now.
Let's see here. Holly said, if they did like the old days, we wouldn't be paying for them to sit in jail. I agree. That must have been in regards to somebody's comment. Paula says, I'm shocked too, but I did think he would be found guilty. If I'm going to accept these panel requests, remember that if you don't mean to come up here, just let me know and I will disconnect you.
Okay, so according to Google, it says the death penalty is not currently available in Indiana because the state has not carried out an execution since 2009. However, in June 2024, Indiana announced it will resume executions after a 15-year hiatus. The state is seeking court's permission to resume executions with portable, a single rug, instead of the traditional 3-rug cocktail. So they stopped for a time being, and they're trying to get permission to do it again. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Okay. Hi, Bray. Hi.
I have a question.
Sure.
Hey, I have a question. Why, if they were underage, was it not capital murder?
I don't know. That's interesting. Does anybody
I
in the
mean,
comments know?
that would be federal, not state prison. And usually, if they're, I mean, I've never seen underage children not be capital murder.
Share true crimes in the house. That's interesting. I don't have that answer. I wish I knew. As it stands, they said he could be sentenced up to 130 years in prison.
Per charge.
Per charge. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, I just wanted to say real fast, Steph. I was watching while they were coming in and out of the courthouse. I did watch a live where one of the I forget who it exactly was, but she had been inside the courthouse. His mother and his wife was there. They broke down, but he did not, and that's all I wanted to tell you guys.
Man, it's tough because it's not of their own doing. The crimes that people commit, right? But the family always seems to suffer anyway, because in a sense they are losing a family member as well, as far as not being able to see them on a normal basis in their life, which they didn't ask for it to be any other way. Although he totally deserves to be in jail. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's hard on the family too. I'm assuming, and so I mean his mom. You know, I just want everybody to keep them in your thoughts, because they didn't do it, but they are saying goodbye to their loved one.
Right, yeah, it's like they're being punished. Yep, absolutely.
And Sarah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, somebody dropped. Go ahead. Then you go ahead.
Oh, Sarah, yes, they did keep him away from inmates, general pop, because it was a crime against little girls. But I don't know how it is in every other federal prison, but I know ours get psychiatrist evaluations every 3 days. So I really didn't know a lot about the case, but what Steph said, that didn't add up. That he did it 60 times, said he did it or didn't do it. It doesn't add up, because you get an evaluation, at least in Oklahoma, every 3 days when you're in solitary.
The gentleman had been in solitary confinement for a total of 13 months, and there is no true understanding if there was other treatment other than what Dr. Walla had been doing at that point in time. And there was a red flag in regard to Dr. Walla as being a true crime aficionado. She had interest in this case prior to any involvement she had with Richard Allen. So at this point, she felt that there was no exaggeration or fakeness in regard to that mental break that he had. And so it's just very unfortunate at this point in time that they had convicted him. And my own personal belief, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I just feel that they just needed to convict somebody just to have a resolution or some closure for the family. That's the way I'm perceiving it. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I know that any kind of psychosis would immediately go to medical, and they would be on suicide watch. And that is an officer looking at them every 10 minutes, logging it in the book, sitting on a stool, looking in their cell 24/7. And
I just wanted to
Diddy's
read this real
doing now.
quickly.
Yeah.
From Peyton Roth. I'm from this town. He's going to get everything he deserves. This town has never been the same.
Oh.
Paula says she thought that he would be found guilty. So let me ask you guys this question, including the panel. What do you think done it? I know it probably was a combination of things, but what do you think was the one key piece of evidence that the jury took into consideration in a guilty verdict? Was it, for example, the van detail that they claim only he could have known? Amy says it was the confession with the white van. And other people are saying it's his confession.
Yes, that confession, as well as him simply being interrupted, and the bullet that they were claiming to as his I heard from the court TV guy who was reiterating what was going on, is that there was some DNA on the bullet, but it wasn't really enough to really absolutely 100% confirm.
From what I understand is that they didn't find any DNA, and the big argument with the bullet is that they're calling it the magic bullet because they felt like it was the magic part of the case. But really, to me, I don't see how you can compare an unspent bullet to 4 spent ones. I guess what they thought, the jury, was they probably really trusted this expert witness. And took her information about the fact that the bullet would have cycled through the gun seriously. I mean, she spent several hours explaining how this is possible. It's way over my pay grade. I didn't catch on. The science, according to her, is still there. And so Allie says the bullet is one of the weakest evidence in your opinion. I have to agree on that. What do y'all think?
What kind of bullet was it? Do you know? Shotgun, rifle, handgun?
I don't know, but I'm going to guess handgun. But it's because of the outline of what I thought I saw in the pocket of the bridge guy. They are saying it was a P90. I'm not a gun person, so I don't know. I mean, a P 9mm.
Yeah, it's a 9mm.
Right. That is because I was thinking of the shape of what is in his pocket. Bridge guy.
Yeah.
Architect says the man got framed because he was in the woods that day. Never go walking alone. Always have someone. That's one of the commenters' opinion.
Did they move the court to a different county, or was it the same county?
Same.
Okay. So he was already guilty before.
Well, the jury pool is from a different county. I want to say like Allen County or something like that, a little bit further up north. So they were toted from where they're from down to Delphi. And so, but the hearing itself was held there at the Delphi courthouse. And Peyton, who is from that town, says this town can finally come together once again. This town is packed and has been for 17 days straight. Peyton, in your heart of hearts, do you feel like the unaliver, the guilty person, has been captured and that Delphi, in a sense, is safe from this horrible person that may and may not have been out there? I mean, what if they had found him not guilty? Peyton, do you think your town would have accepted that and continued to look for the person, or do you think they would always be right there, thinking that he's the one that done it and that's it? Well, I mean, safe for in the sense of nowhere is safe. But what I'm talking about is knowing that the unaliver of these two girls who could possibly do it again is behind bars. Peyton says definitely would have continued to look. 7.5 years. Rest in peace line was going, the tip line, oh, I thought it was, I was like, rip line, it must be rest in peace. The tip line was going crazy. Lauren asked, wasn't there another guy there? They thought the property owner. Well, the property owner is Brad Weber. No. Yeah. Kristen, correct me. I don't want to get the wrong Brad. There's a Brad Holder who's somebody different, and then Brad Weber, who said he was the one that was coming home in the white van that day. Is it Holder or Weber? There's two Brads. I thought it was Weber. Ron Logan, thank you. He's the one that actually owned the property. Thank you. You know, the older you get, the more you miss, like you'll know a lot of information, but then you're like, who was that person? So thank you. I depend on you guys to fill in the blanks for me when I forget. Sugar says Elvis Fields was also admitted to the incident, but wasn't investigated. Elvis Fields, interesting. Well, I'm assuming that there is going to be probably an immediate appeal. I don't think they're going to waste any time appealing this, but I don't think he has any chance of getting out or getting out on parole. And of course, once you're convicted, you're convicted, you'll have to go through, you know, the Innocence Project or something like it to reprove your innocence. There has to be strong enough evidence to do so. Peyton says no, but he went straight home after work. The guy they ruled out, everyone you guys are saying besides Richard. Go ahead.
My apologies. Innocence Project primarily focuses on post-conviction work, and they will intervene at the very last minute when every appeal has been totally exhausted and there is a push for new evidence to be able to push for that exoneration. And there's several people who have been successful in using the Innocence Project. For example, Michael Morton, his case was out of Williamson County, Texas. And so if you're curious about that, you can always Google him and a few others that have been doing that. The Innocence Project is similar to the legal clinics that you would see at many law schools that or legal universities that have those available. And so that's a very great program that runs that kind of post-conviction. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. The future comes quickly. December 20th, thank you guys, is the sentencing date. Now, they'll go through, even though he'll file an appeal, they'll still go through sentencing, right?
Yes, ma'am. He'll still have sentencing, but the sentencing will be appealed.
Thank you. Peyton, thank you for your follow, and I appreciate your honesty and your open-heartedness to talk about the effect that this has had on your little small town. Thank you for your follow, Don. Thank you for your follow, Moo. I appreciate everyone. Thank you, Paula's Paws. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Wendy. Well, this is one of those days where we have a lot to think about and ponder on and really take in. It's been a long 7 years. I remember when finding out about this story way back when it happened, way back when nobody really was really thinking about TikTok, or it was something different. So now the fact that we can come together on this app and talk about this verdict is amazing to me. I'm going to hop off here for now. Thank you. Goal reached. You guys rock. You're the best followers ever. Thank you, guys. Court TV is still live, and they're still talking about it if you want to tune into them. Otherwise, I will see you in the morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for subscribing. I see you, Donna, and welcome to the family. Until then, I'll see you. I'll see you then. Until then, I'll see you then. I am not like, you know what I mean. Okay, we're friends. We're gonna see each other again. The end. I love you very, very much. You're making my dreams come true. Oh God, thank you, Chastity. Not tomorrow. It's TMZ Day. I forget. Oh Lord. But we might go live after, or depending on in between what I'm doing with them. Okay. So otherwise, I'll see you some point tomorrow. Otherwise, back on schedule Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember that you can follow me on any social media platform. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo. I am on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and an app called Scoops with a Z. Have a great day. Thank you for all you do, Kristen. Bye.